This is a painting of a pig from a cave in Sulawesi. We've dated it to 45,500 years ago.
I've seen plenty of shocking discoveries before, but this one left even seasoned scientists speechless.
They're cave paintings, created by people nearly 44,000 years ago.
A 3,500-year-old cave painting from deep within an ancient site has completely rewritten what we thought we knew about history. What it reveals is nothing short of astonishing.
These limestone formations are called karst, and it's full of caves.
So, let's not waste any time.
And the area we're going to is peppered with enormous amounts, many of which have never been explored.
Over in Sulawesi, Indonesia, back in 2017, a sharp-eyed member of the Cultural Heritage Guard spotted some intriguing red markings at the entrance of Leang Karampuang Cave. Little did they know, this casual observation was about to rewrite the history books. Rallying a team from Indonesia's National Research and Innovation Agency, BRIN, along with brains from Southern Cross University and Griffith University, a full-scale investigation was launched. The group unearthed a cave painting that throws our understanding of ancient artistry right out the window, dating back about 51,200 years. It's now considered the world's oldest known figurative art. This 36 by 15-inch masterpiece showcases human-like figures mingling with a pig, offering us a peek into the minds of our long-gone relatives. To pin down its age, the team used uranium series dating on the calcite layers atop the artwork. This method isn't about making educated guesses. It measures the decay of uranium isotopes into thorium, laying down hard facts about the minimum age of what lies beneath. And as of July 3rd, 2024, their findings hit the pages of the journal Nature, confirming just how ancient these artistic expressions are. Getting to this point was no walk in the park. The Maros Pangkep karst region, home to the Leang Karampuang, is all rugged limestone and thick greenery, turning every step of exploration into an adventure. The researchers were not just battling the terrain, but also working meticulously to keep the precious cave environment intact. Their efforts, a blend of grit and science, have not only paid off, but also sparked a significant rethink of early human creativity and migration. This game-changing discovery has put a new spin on the narrative that once painted Europe as the epicenter of early artistic flair. The Sulawesi art tells us that folks in Southeast Asia were not just doodling. They were crafting complex figurative art just as their European cousins were. What does this say about the development of symbolic thought and cultural practices back then? Plenty, and the questions are as tantalizing as the answers. But Leang Karampuang is just one piece of the puzzle. Nearby caves like Leang Tedongi and Leang Bulu Sipong 4 also hold their own cache of ancient canvases, with scenes of warty pigs and various hunting escapades. These sites collectively highlight Sulawesi's pivotal role in our shared human story, underscoring a rich heritage that continues to shape our understanding of early societies. But wait, there's more. Not too far off, in the dense jungles of East Kalimantan, Borneo, another bunch of art detectives were about to uncover even more secrets from the past. Rewind to 1994, when the daring duo of French speleologist Luc-Henri Fage and archaeologist Jean-Michel Chazin teamed up with local Dayak hunter Pak Saleh. Their mission? Explore the uncharted Sangkulirang Mangkalihat karst area. Fast forward to September 1998. They stumble upon the Lubang Jeriji Saleh cave complex, and boy, were they in for a treat. The cave's walls were plastered with hand stencils and animal sketches. Fage's detailed inventory in 2003 revealed a staggering 328 negative handprints and 43 figures depicting humans and animals. The preliminary dating slapped an age of about 9,900 years on some handprints beneath calcite formations, marking the site as ancient with a capital A. But the plot thickens when Dr. Maxime Aubert from Griffith University and Dr. Pindi Setiawan from the Bandung Institute of Technology take the stage. Using cutting-edge uranium series dating on the calcium carbonate layers covering the paintings, they discover something jaw-dropping. The star of the show, a depiction of a Banteng bull, is over 40,000 years old. This bombshell dropped in the journal Nature on November 7, 2018, catapults the Lubang Jeriji Saleh art to the ranks of the world's earliest figurative masterpieces. Trudging through dense jungles and navigating the delicate ecosystems of the karst landscape, the team's dedication unveils not just stunning art, but clues to the cognitive leaps of early humans. It's like piecing together a jigsaw puzzle of our ancestors' minds, revealing a knack for creativity and symbolism that speaks across millennia. This find reshapes our understanding of prehistoric art's timeline, hinting at a simultaneous burst of artistic flair across various global points. The cave art of Lubang Jeriji Saleh is a profound link to the symbolic thinking and expressive communication of early societies, bridging tens of thousands of years in a few brushstrokes. And who said archaeology was about digging up old bones and pottery shards? Now let's take a scenic jaunt to northern Spain's Cantabria, where the cave of Altamira shows off its collection of Paleolithic masterpieces. The tale of its discovery begins rather unassumingly in 1868, when Modesto Cubillas, merely a local hunter in pursuit of game, first encountered the cave. However, the significance of his findings didn't hit the headlines just yet. Fast forward to 1875, and enter Marcelino Sanz de Sautuola, a nobleman and amateur archaeologist from the neighboring town of Santillana del Mar. After catching wind of the cave, he decided to check it out, though the visit didn't quite spark any fireworks in his archaeological heart. It took a trip to the Universal Exhibition in Paris in 1878, where he saw artifacts from the Stone Age to light a fire under Sanz de Sautuola's archaeological ambitions. This newfound passion propelled him to take a second look at Altamira, this time through a prehistoric lens. The summer of 1879 proved pivotal. Sanz de Sautuola and his 8-year-old daughter Maria embarked on a systematic exploration of the cave. Picture this. During one of their explorations, little Maria wandered into a side chamber and, looking up, was struck by the sight of vibrant bison painted on the ceiling. Her exclamation brought to light not just bison, but an entire gallery of polychromatic paintings, including horses, deer, and wild boars, all rendered with stunning realism. Sanz de Sautuola wasted no time. In 1880, he published brief notes on some prehistoric objects in the province of Santander, where he boldly claimed these artworks as prehistoric masterpieces. He even teamed up with Juan Vilanova y Piera, a geology professor, to champion their prehistoric origin at the 1880 International Congress of Anthropology and Prehistoric Archaeology in Lisbon. But here's where it gets a bit sticky. Their presentation was met with raised eyebrows and outright skepticism. The crème de la crème of French prehistorians, including the esteemed Émile Cartéac, waved off the paintings as mere forgeries, unable to match the sophisticated artistry with their notions of prehistoric capabilities. Sadly, Sanz de Sautuola didn't live to see his vindication. He passed away in 1888, a cloud of controversy still hanging over his findings. It took until 1902, after similar discoveries in France, for the tide to turn. Cartéac himself issued a public apology through his article Mea Culpa of a Skeptic, finally acknowledging the authenticity of Altamira's paintings. Just a stone's throw away, in the same verdant landscapes of Cantabria, lies another marvel, the Cave of El Castillo. Discovered in the early 20th century, this cave pulls back the curtain on some of the oldest human artistry known to us, sketching out vivid details of life long before modern conveniences. Let's rewind to 1903, when Spanish archaeologist Hermilio Alcalde del Rio first stumbled upon the entrance to this treasure trove on Monte Castillo near Puente Viesgo. Quite the pioneer, Del Rio didn't just discover a cave, he uncovered a gateway to understanding early human expression. His detailed record set the stage for a series of digs between 1910 and 1914, spearheaded by the Institute of Human Paleontology in Paris and bankrolled by none other than Prince Albert of Monaco. Hugo Obermeier and his team, including notable figures like Henri Breuil and Paul Vernet, dug deep, literally, and brought to light over 150 engravings and paintings, including deer and numerous hand stencils that seem to reach out through millennia. Among these ancient images, the showstopper is undoubtedly the red disc on the Panel de las Manos, which a 2012 study dated back at least 40,800 years, making it one of the global old-timers of cave paintings. This little disc could rewrite the books on who the first artists were, hinting that maybe Neanderthals were the original Picassos of prehistoric Europe. Navigating El Castillo wasn't a walk in the park. The cave's labyrinth of chambers demanded precise mapping and careful preservation, ensuring that every discovery was a step closer to understanding, not destroying, this delicate window into the past. Modern techniques have helped gently peel back the layers of time, revealing insights like the probable female creators of many hand stencils, challenging the old-school club of prehistoric man artists. This cave isn't just a collection of old drawings, it's a profound testament to the cognitive and cultural leaps our ancestors made long before us. Listed now as part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, along with other Paleolithic marvels of northern Spain, El Castillo balances public awe with the need for preservation. While we can't all traipse through its corridors, replicas and virtual tours invite everyone to peer back across the ages. Not too far from here, in the picturesque town of Ribadesella within Spain's Asturias region, another prehistoric gallery waits to awe us, the Tito Bustillo Cave. The cave's discovery in 1968 was a serendipitous event, unveiling one of Europe's most significant Paleolithic art sites. In April of that year, a group of young caving enthusiasts from the Torreblanca Speleological Society embarked on an expedition to explore the karstic formations of the Ardina Massif near Ribadesella. Among them was Celestino Fernandez Bustillo, affectionately known as Tito to his friends. The team descended through a natural sinkhole called Pozul Ramu, navigating approximately 700 meters of underground passages adorned with stalactites and stalagmites. As they ventured deeper, Tito's flashlight beam illuminated a chamber's walls, revealing a stunning array of ancient paintings and engravings. This momentous find was a window into the lives of early humans who had inhabited the region between 33,000 and 10,000 years ago. Tragically, just weeks after this groundbreaking discovery, Tito Bustillo lost his life in a mountaineering accident. In honor of his contribution, the cave was named Cueva de Tito Bustillo. Following the cave's discovery, extensive studies were undertaken to document and understand its rich artistic and archaeological significance. Researchers identified 12 distinct panels featuring over 100 representations, including depictions of horses, deer, moose, and even marine creatures, possibly whales. One notable section, known as the Chamber of Vulvas, contains red-painted symbols believed to represent female fertility. The cave's art spans various periods, with the oldest paintings dating back approximately 33,000 years, as determined by radiocarbon dating. These ancient artworks provide invaluable insights into early human society's symbolic and cultural expressions. In 2008, UNESCO recognized the universal value of the Tito Bustillo Cave by including it in the World Heritage Site listing under Cave of Altamira, and Paleolithic cave art of northern Spain. This designation underscores the cave's importance as a testament to early human creativity and cultural development. To protect the delicate artworks from environmental degradation, access to the cave is limited. Visitors are encouraged to explore the nearby Tito Bustillo Cave Art Center, which offers detailed reproductions and interactive exhibits, allowing the public to appreciate the cave's treasures without compromising their preservation. While we're on the subject of ancient creativity, let's not forget another gem in France. On December 18, 1994, a remarkable discovery was made in the picturesque Ardèche region of southeastern France. 3 amateur speleologists, Jean-Marie Chauvet, Eliette Brunel-Deschamps, and Christian Hilaire, stumbled upon what would soon be recognized as one of the most significant prehistoric art sites known to date, the Chauvet Pont d'Arc Cave. These intrepid explorers weren't exactly looking for treasure. They were drawn to a limestone cliff above the old bed of the Ardèche River, near the little commune of Vallon-Pont d'Arc. There, a curious air current, whispering from a partially hidden opening in the vegetation, caught their attention. Eager to see where it led, they widened the gap just enough to wiggle through. What lay beyond? An underground realm festooned with pristine prehistoric paintings that practically screamed, "Welcome to the Stone Age." As they delved deeper, Chauvet, Brunel-Deschamps, and Hilaire meticulously documented their findings. The cave walls were a veritable gallery of ancient animal art, showcasing horses, rhinoceroses, lions, and mammoths. The art's quality, quantity, and antiquity were off the charts. Some pieces were dated back about 36,000 years, placing them among the oldest known to us. Realizing the magnitude of their find, the trio didn't just high-five and head home. They took steps to safeguard their find. The cave entrance was sealed to keep out uninvited guests, and the discovery was quickly reported to the regional authorities. The French Ministry of Culture didn't waste any time either. They roped in archaeologist Jean Clotz to lead a team of experts to assess the find. And yes, the artworks were the real deal. Given the fragility of this prehistoric Picasso's gallery, the Chauvet Pont d'Arc cave was closed to the public. In a nod to its importance, UNESCO declared it a World Heritage Site in 2014, ensuring its protection for future generations. But don't worry, you haven't missed out. In 2015, the Caverne du Pont d'Arc, a near-perfect replica of the cave, opened its doors to the public. This means you can marvel at these ancient masterpieces without risking a single smudge to the originals. And speaking of ancient wonders, not too far from there, the serene countryside near Montignac holds its own against the test of time with Lascaux's prehistoric cave paintings. On September 12, 1940, 4 unsuspecting teenagers, Marcel Ravida, Jacques Marsal, Georges Agnel, and Simon Coancas, were just messing around near Montignac when they fell into history. Marcel was chasing after his dog, Robot, who had bolted into a mysterious hole. Curiosity piqued, Marcel returned with his buddies, some basic tools, and a 15-meter rope to explore. They widened the hole, climbed down, and what they found was nothing short of spectacular. Walls covered with vivid paintings of horses, bulls, and stags that looked like they might leap off the rock at any moment. Realizing they'd stumbled upon something major, they rushed to tell their schoolteacher, Léon Laval, who immediately understood the significance. Laval roped in Abbé Henri Breuil, a big name in prehistoric archaeology. Breuil was floored when he saw the paintings on September 21, 1940, calling it the Sistine Chapel of Prehistory. He and his team made detailed sketches, which are priceless now, given the wear and tear some pieces have endured over the decades. This so-called Hall of the Bulls stretches 20 meters wide and rises 5 meters high, showcasing over 600 animal figures and about 1,500 engravings using a palette of red, black, brown, and yellow. The artists had a knack for perspective and motion that makes modern animators look like they're just catching up. Seeing the buzz it created, the French government opened the doors to Lascaux Cave on July 14, 1948. But fame has its price. By 1955, the daily swarm of up to 1,200 visitors started to wear on the cave's ancient art. All that breathing. It wasn't long before fungi and lichen began their unwelcome stay. In a bid to save these prehistoric masterpieces, the cave was closed to the public in 1963, leading to ongoing efforts to keep the art as vibrant as ever. While Lascaux's tale might seem tough to top, another French cave holds its own epic story. In the summer of 1985, Henri Cosquer, a pro diver, was splashing around near Cap Morgiou, close to Marseille, when he hit the jackpot. Not gold or sunken pirate ships, but something that might as well be a treasure for history buffs. The entrance to a submerged cave, lurking 37 meters below the waves. This wasn't just any cave. After diving down and squeezing through a tight, waterlogged passage about 175 meters long, Cosquer found himself in a huge cavern. But here's the kicker. The walls were covered with prehistoric art. We're talking over 200 paintings and engravings showcasing everything from horses and bison to seals. And yes, even penguins made the cut, despite it sounding like a casting call for a prehistoric version of Madagascar. These artworks are ancient, like 19,000 to 27,000 years old ancient. You'd think you'd run straight to the press with news like this, but Cosquer, he kept it on the DL, sharing it only with a few buddies. But here's where it gets a bit murky. In 1991, a dive to the cave took a tragic turn when 3 divers lost their way in that labyrinthine underwater passage and didn't make it out. That was the moment Cosquer decided to go public, hoping to prevent further tragedies. By September 3, 1991, the authorities were clued in, and soon enough, experts like Jean Clotz and Jean Courtin were confirming just how significant this find was. Thanks to them, the Cosquer Cave got the protection it deserved, though it meant slamming the door shut on public access to keep those ancient doodles pristine. Now, on another part of the globe, and in a starkly different setting, another slice of ancient life was waiting to be uncovered. In the dusty reaches of southwestern Namibia, within what's now a scenic cross-border park, lies the Apollo 11 Cave. Not named after the spacecraft by coincidence, this site got its groovy title during the height of moon mania in July 1969. Just as Neil Armstrong was leaving his footprint up there, German archaeologist Wolfgang Erich Wendt was making his own kind of history in these arid landscapes. The cave, originally known by the local Nama as Goachanas, got a quick rebranding, inspired by those lunar adventures. Digging into the heart of this rock shelter, Wendt struck gold, or rather quartzite. Not just any rocks, mind you, but 7 slabs dressed up with charcoal and ochre, showcasing some seriously vintage animal art. These weren't doodles, or the product of an idle mind. They were masterpieces, dating back about 25,500 to 27,500 years. Yep, you heard that right. This makes them some of the oldest known portable art pieces in Africa. Imagine the stories those ancient artists could tell if they were around today. Nestled in the Eyes-Richtersveld Transfrontier Park, roughly 250 kilometers southwest of Keetmanshoop, this cave offers a rare peek into the creative minds of our early ancestors. It's like a direct line to prehistoric times, etched in stone and pigment. Wendt's discoveries didn't just add a new chapter to history, they connected us with a time when these now quiet caves buzzed with activity and artistry. Who knew that a cave with such an out-of-this-world name would ground us so deeply in our own earthly roots? And just like that, amidst the wilds of Namibia, a simple shelter underlines our shared heritage, revealing that the urge to express and create is truly timeless. Meanwhile, over in the heart of India, Nestled near the bustling town of Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh, another ancient canvas tells its story through the Bhimbetka rock shelters. In 1957, while Indian archaeologist Vishnu Sridhar Wakankar was headed to Bhopal, something extraordinary caught his eye. Rock formations that seemed oddly familiar, echoing those he'd studied in France and Spain. Curiosity got the better of him, and boy, aren't we glad it did. Wakankar couldn't just let it go. He teamed up with fellow archaeologists to explore these formations near the town of Bhopal, in the heart of Madhya Pradesh. What they found was nothing short of spectacular. The Bhimbetka rock shelters, a sprawling complex of over 750 shelters draped across 7 hills. It turns out, more than 500 of these shelters were canvases showcasing vibrant prehistoric paintings, offering a peek into the lives of early humans engaged in hunting, dancing, and the rigmarole of daily life. These ancient artists used natural pigments that have miraculously withstood the ravages of time, preserving tales of social gatherings and hunting escapades that are thousands of years old. Yet despite the groundbreaking nature of this find, Wakankar's work didn't make waves in the academic community right away. It took until the 1970s for the Bhimbetka shelters to receive the scholarly attention they deserved, sparking a series of archaeological studies and conservation efforts. By 2003, the world couldn't longer ignore Bhimbetka's significance. UNESCO stepped in, declaring the rock shelters a World Heritage Site, a nod to their profound impact on our understanding of human history. Just think about it. What started as a hunch on a train ride turned into one of the most important archaeological discoveries in India. Now let's jet over to another corner of the world where rocks are also telling tales. Let's travel back to 1891 in the wild, remote Kimberley region of Western Australia, where pastoralist Joseph Bradshaw was on a mission, not for art, but for new grazing lands. Little did he know he was about to stumble upon a find that would make art lovers and archaeologists swoon. While navigating the rugged terrain near the Roe River, Bradshaw happened upon something extraordinary. There, on a sandstone escarpment, were intricate paintings of human figures, so detailed and vivid they seemed almost ready to step off the rock. Captured in hues of brown, yellow, and pale blue, these figures were decked out in what appeared to be tassels and elaborate headdresses. Struck by their resemblance to ancient Egyptian art, Bradshaw couldn't help but gush about his discovery at a talk for the Victorian branch of the Royal Geographical Society. Now, these artworks, known as the Guion or Bradshaw paintings, are hailed as some of the most sophisticated examples of ancient rock art in Australia, distinct from the well-known Wandjina figures George Gray stumbled upon back in 1838. But let's be honest, despite Bradshaw's excitement, his findings took a while to catch on. It wasn't until the mid-20th century that these artworks began to draw serious attention, thanks to folks like American archaeologist Daniel Sutherland Davidson, who, while skeptical of Bradshaw's Eurocentric interpretations, acknowledged the need for a closer look. Fast forward a few decades and enter Graham Walsh, an amateur archaeologist with a passion for these mysterious artworks. From 1977, Walsh spent over 30 years documenting and studying over 1.5 million rock art images and identifying 1,500 new sites. Thanks to his efforts, we now appreciate these paintings not just as art, but as a window into a complex society rich in culture and tradition. Equally captivating, though perhaps less well known, are the La Skeel cave paintings, tucked away near Hargeisa, the capital of Somaliland. Painted over 5,000 years ago, these treasures depict vibrant scenes of pastoral life alongside wild animals, vividly capturing the essence of ancient daily life in the Horn of Africa. Back in November and December of 2002, a group of French archaeologists, led by Professor Xavier Guttertz from Paul Valéry University, packed up their gear, and headed to Somaliland. They were on the hunt for ancient rock shelters and caves that could tell us more about how folks in the region shifted from hunter-gatherers to a more settled-down, let's-grow-our-food kind of life between 5000 and 2000 BCE. Thanks to some friendly local folks, the team didn't just find any old rocks. They hit the jackpot with Las Gil. The name means the camel's well in Somali, which makes you wonder just how many camels have stopped by these caves over the millennia. On December 4th, 2002, they uncovered a treasure trove of rock art tucked away in 10 alcoves. The art shows vibrant scenes of cattle in fancy robes, humans hanging out, and a mix of wildlife like giraffes and antelopes. You've got to appreciate the locals, though. They knew about these paintings long before any archaeologist showed up and chalked them up to ancestral spirits or jinns. It took a bit for the international crowd to catch on to how important Las Gil was. But after a deep dive in November 2003, everyone agreed these weren't just doodles. They're some of the earliest and best-kept windows into Africa's ancient art scene, showing us the daily lives and spiritual beliefs of the early humans who lived here. Now, if you think that's a remarkable slice of history, wait till you hear about the Magura Cave in Bulgaria. Nestled in the northwestern part of the country, near the village of Rabisha, this cave was formed about 15 million years ago. Now let's rewind to 1879. That's when Marin Ivanov Marinov, a Bulgarian geographer and botanist who probably enjoyed a rugged hike more than a stroll in the park, first put Magura Cave on the map. Fast forward to the Roaring Twenties, 1927 to be exact, when archaeologists Lazar Filipov and Barney Bonchev got their hands dirty, digging through the cave's secrets. They unearthed a heap of artifacts, like tools and pottery, that hinted at a cave that was more than just a pretty face. It was a home. But hold your torches higher, because in 1928, Raphael Popov hit the jackpot. Imagine finding over 700 prehistoric paintings with just enough bat guano to make a paint store. These artworks weren't your average cave doodles. They were complex scenes of dancing figures, masked parties, no, not the Halloween kind, animals, and cryptic symbols that spanned from the early Paleolithic right up to the Bronze Age doorstep. By the time the late 20th century rolled around, researchers were buzzing about these cave walls like they were the pages of a prehistoric magazine. From 1988 to 1993, the focus was on preserving these masterpieces. And guess what? They found that these ancient artists might have been sharing design tips with their buddies in Italy's Grotta dei Cervi, sparking chit-chat about prehistoric pen pals or parallel evolution in cave art. Flash forward to 1961, Magura Cave finally rolls out the red carpet for the public. Suddenly, it's a hotspot for history buffs and curious tourists. But with great foot traffic comes great responsibility. To keep their ancient art from becoming ancient history, cave managers had to play bouncers, restricting access to protect these delicate works from the wear and tear of modern love. So, while it's tempting to think of caves as nature's basements, Magura is a living museum, an echo of early human creativity that's still whispering its stories today. If you're willing to listen, that is, and trust me, it's worth tuning in. What do you think about these astonishing cave paintings that have left scientists speechless? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this discovery fascinating, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more incredible historical finds, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.